Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebral lights, and I do mean every single last one. It is she, the cerebral diva, and she is in the building with another episode of You Say What. And in today's episode of You Say What, we're going to be talking about a hot button issue, a very divisive issue, and that issue is the N word. The N word. The N. I don't mean not. I don't mean nope. We're talking about the N word, the true N word. And this episode is brought to you by Gina Rodriguez. And so, Gina was recently on a live. I don't know where it was. Comment below if you know where she was. I'm not sure if it was Instagram, if it was YouTube, if it was Instagram. I don't know where. Facebook Live. I don't know where. Can you guys believe just really let me digress for just a moment. Stay with me, people, for just a moment. Can you guys believe that I don't have any personal social media pages? I don't have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Snapchat, a Twitter. I do have those pages, but all of those pages are really specifically for business purposes. I think social media is the devil, so I personally try to steer clear of it as it relates to my personal life. But professionally, I definitely think that there are some advantages to having social media. So therefore I use it for that intent and purpose, but not for my personal life. Alright, so enough about me. Let's get back to Gina and the N word. So Gina was recently kicking it old school, listening to the Fugees, and there's a line in the song, I want to say it was Fuji La La that she was listening to, I'm not quite sure, but there's a line in the song where I believe Wyclef was rapping, and he uses the N word. Like, N words give me heebie jeebies. And rather than editing that moment out, Gina was feeling the moment. And she went with the moment and she used the N word, and it went viral, and people are so up in arms about it. People are livid about the fact that she used the N word. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm livid too. But guess why I'm livid? Let me tell you why I'm livid. The reason I'm livid is because I hate the N word across the board. I do not offer caveats or quantify when it can be used. I just hate the word. I hate it. Let me tell you guys a really quick story. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this story before, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So, I was dating this guy, and he came to see me. Well, he didn't necessarily come and see me. I met him while he was visiting where I lived. So he was there for maybe a week or so. We went out, we hung out. And on the last day that he was there, they had to return the rental car, so he didn't have any means of transportation. So he asked me if I would come down to the hotel to see him to say goodbye before he left. And no, it wasn't a goodbye with a happy ending. So get your dirty minds out the gutter. It was just a standard goodbye. So I got dressed, went to the hotel room to see him, and when I got there, much to my surprise, he had a friend there. Now, this friend was Middle Eastern. I'm not sure of his exact nationality, but you could. He was obviously Middle Eastern of some sort. So the two of them are sort of having their brotherly banter. They're going back and forth, and just kidding with each other. And I noticed that he called the guy who I was there to see, who was black. The Middle Eastern guy called him the N word. Now, my hair stood on end. I'm like, what did I just hear? Did he just say what I thought he said? But I noticed that the guy I was there to see was completely non-reactive. Like, he had absolutely no reaction to it whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, clearly this is what they do. So let me not make a mountain into a molehill. If this is the pre-established dynamic, who am I to walk into this room, 30 seconds later and try to shift that dynamic by, you know, imparting my positioning on the N word? So I sat there, and they were going back and forth, N word this and N word that. And I was honestly getting turned off more and more and more, just because I just find the N word to be such an ignorant word in any capacity. You know, that's just me. So I'm sitting there just listening to them go back and forth, and at some point, he went from the singular N word to the plural N word, sort of encompassing me into the conversation, like y'all N words be something, something, something. And so I sat there in that moment and I said to myself, Self, do you write it out or do you speak up? And I said, okay, just let it go, girl. Just let it go. It's just let it go. You're not here for that. Don't turn a thing into a thing. Let's just be easy right now. So I sat there and I'm like biting my lip and I'm trying my best not to say anything, but it is paining me not to say anything. So I sat there and I had a conversation in my head and I said to myself, if he said this again to me in the plural form, oh, she is going to say something. So I'm sitting there and then lo and behold, he says it again. Y'all in words. And I very politely I said I had to clear my throat on this one because I needed to make my point known. Now I didn't come at him from a neck rolling, you know, finger snapping, sort of that, the stereotypical black woman thing that people expect for us to do. I very politely and succinctly said to him, please do not call me that. That makes me very uncomfortable. And I could tell he was taken aback in that moment. He was just like, oh, we have an uppity Negro in the room. Yes, you do, in case you weren't warned. You have an uppity, highfalutin Negro is in your presence right now, and you will respect her as such. So I very politely said to him, please don't call me that. It makes me very uncomfortable. And he said, I'm sorry. He apologized for it. Um, and that was that. And I say that to say that I do not have a fondness of the N word. I do not use it in my everyday vernacular. One of the quickest ways a guy can turn me off is by referring to himself as the N word. I hate that, referring to himself in the third person as the N word. Holla at an N word. I'd rather not. I'd rather holler at an intelligent black man. What's wrong with being an intelligent, accomplished black man? Why does everyone have to be an N word? Like, maybe I'm just a dinosaur. I don't know. But it's just things about men in this day and age or dating in this day and age that just drives me bananas. Like, I know we're here to talk about the N word, but listen, this has turned into a full blown therapy session for me. So bear with me. Just go on this ride with me for a second. So, um, I was talking to this other guy that I met recently, and he texted me, and he asked me what was I doing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just at home, doing A, B, C, and D." And I was like, "What are you up to?" And he says to me, "Ed, you know what Ed is, right?" So he's like, "Ed, I'm just over here high, just chilling." And so I immediately looked for the block button on my phone. Why are you telling me that you're high in the middle of the day? Well, first of all, why are you telling me that you're high? Period. What world do I live in that a man who is trying to date me, trying to woo me, for lack of a better term, tells me that he's getting high and I'm supposed to be. What is that supposed to do for me? Is that supposed to make me excited? Is that supposed to make me think he's cool? Is that supposed to make me just like I have no clue what the purpose of telling me that was. Am I supposed to say, "Oh, hey, come smoke me out"? I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. So never had marijuana in my life. Ever, ever, ever. Never had a drink of alcohol in my life. Now, I'm cool with people who do. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But even if that's your thing, I think that you should be a little bit more conscientious about how you go about introducing the fact that you enjoy those things to people that you don't know, because everyone does not smoke weed. Everyone does not think it's the cool thing to do. And I happen to be of the minority of people who happen to think that it's just not the cool thing to do. I don't necessarily judge people that smoke weed. I guess I do. I'm lying. I guess I do a little bit. I guess it's not that you smoke weed, it's how you smoke weed. Like if you're smoking weed and you won't apply for certain jobs because you'd rather get high than to elevate your position in life, I'm judging you. I'm judging. I'm sorry. Like at some point you have to put the weed aside and put the goals, make your goals a priority. So I might judge you in those instances, but overall, if you work hard and you have money, say like if you don't have money to put gas in your car, but you have money to buy weed, I'm judging you. Yep, I'm definitely judging you. So there's certain things like I guess if you're going to be, it's like a cigarette smoker. To me, the dustiest thing that I can see a man do is to go bum cigarettes off of someone else. You mean to tell me you smoke, but you can't even afford your own cigarettes? That tells me you can't afford that habit. Do something else, bruh. So anyway, let me get back on the tangent that we're here to talk about because I can go on and on about just dating in this day and age, but I'm not going to do that. We're here to talk about the N word and my disdain for the N word and why I'm so confused by why people have this selective outrage when it's used by someone who is non black. For me, the N word is just bad across the board. It should not be used across the board. And the fact that we pick and choose who can use it, when it can be used, how it can be used, is just asinine to me. And again, I know that I'm in the minority on this particular issue. I know that I am. I know that I'm one of very few people who chooses, or people of African American descent who chooses not to use that word. But I've made a conscious choice. Pretty much everyone in my family uses the word. Everyone. I will call someone a Negro. I've used that word before. But I'm okay with being called a Negro because Negro means black in Spanish. So, negro. So I'm okay with that. But do not call me the N word. Period. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Just don't call me that word. And so when Gina Rodriguez says that word, I feel like I can personally be offended. But can you imagine for me being in a professional situation or a social situation around a predominantly white crowd, which I am in many instances, and the song comes on and it's N word this and N word that, and I'm just like, damn, we gotta do that. This is the thought process. We gotta do better. We gotta do better because we've turned this word into what we've essentially done, in my opinion, is we've anesthetized this word to the point that it just doesn't really have the same impact that it once did. That it once did. Because it's in every single hip hop song for the most part. It's all you hear. It's all you hear. So when I hear Gina singing it, or watch her singing along to a song where this is included, it's like, okay, say you're a guy, right? And you're listening to, let's say, a song made by Beyonce, right? And in the song, Beyonce is talking about, how much she loves her man, or boy, you're gonna whatever, whatever, whatever. And so you're singing along to the lyric, and the lyric is boy. Now, normally you change that lyric from boy to girl, but when you listen to the song this time, you get so caught up in the moment that you say boy, and you're not a guy who likes boys, or a guy or a man who likes men, but you say the song in its original form because that's the way the lyric goes. When I see Gina singing this song, that's pretty much what I see. I'm not like making excuses for her using the N word because I think she's ignorant for using it. I just think that most people who use it are ignorant. Sorry if you're a person who uses it, that's just how I feel. It's just one of those things we'll have to agree to disagree on. So when I see her singing the song, I don't really get up in arms about it because it can happen to anyone, in my opinion, in terms of you getting caught up in the moment and singing the song. If we are so offended by the song, why are we supporting music where that word is used? Why are we rooting for that song to be the number one song, or or deeming it a classic if we're so offended by the words that are being used in it? Is it just a classic for black people or is it a classic for all? I don't know anymore. And frankly, I'm tired of trying to figure out who can use the N word and who can't use the N word. There are more pressing matters, in my opinion, that warrant our attention than the N word. And if we're gonna be offended by the N word, then we have to be on one accord and just be offended by the word outright and stop so having this selective outrage and picking and choosing who can use it and who can't use it. Has Eminem ever used the N word? I don't know. I don't listen to Eminem music, but I could see black people giving Eminem a pass for using the N word. I could totally see that because he has a quote unquote black card, and so anyway, people, comment below. This is you say what you know what I say. I want to know what you say, and please keep it respectful. Let's have an intelligent dialogue. If you want to get ratchet, this is not the channel for that. If you say something ignorant, I'm just really just gonna block your comment. So if you want to type just for your comment to never be seen or heard, go right ahead. But if you have an opinion that is counter to my own opinion, please, please, please comment. I welcome those comments. I implore you to give me your position on the N word. Again, this is called You Say What, so your opinion matters here. So make sure you comment below. I have to get ready for work. As much as I love talking to you guys, I actually have things to do. So, as always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. Is there anything else? Oh, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, or do not share. I really don't care. I do this for fun, not for a living, just so you know. Again, it's me, the Cerebral Diva. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye.